Urban legends and terrifying myths of all kinds seem to surface from all around the world as reports of strange, supernatural, paranormal, and extraterrestrial accounts spread through a town or region like wildfire. Some of these urban legends tend to never leave the region in which they first began, whereas others might make national headlines all around the world in their appearance. So today, here at Unexplained Mysteries, we will be covering 5 terrifying urban legends that come from the country of Malaysia and their strange origins. Arang Minyak. Referred to by Malaysian locals as the Arang Minyak, a name of which roughly translates to mean the oily man, there appears to be a supernatural entity capable of invading homes throughout the night all across the country that causes a terrible amount of havoc to those unfortunate enough to have attracted his attention. The legend of the Arang Minyak claims that the supernatural entity was first created by an evil group of Boma, the name in the region that refers to witch doctors, of whom created the creature for the purpose of causing fear and chaos to as many people as possible. The creature supposedly looks like a normal man with the exception that he is able to cover his entire body with a black, oily substance that pours out of his sweat glands and makes him nearly impossible to see at night. This oil also seems to serve as a defense mechanism, as those that attempt to grab him find that he is impossible to hold down and, due to the oil, is slippery to capture. The strange ability is what leads the Arang Minyak to hide during the day and only prowl the country at night, in an effort to remain unseen by using the dark cloak of the oil dripping from his body to blend into the night. The most terrifying part of the legend surrounding that of the Arang Minyak is that there are still reported attacks from the creature in cities all across the country. According to witness reports taken back in 2005, there had been an Arang Minyak holding a knife and running around the halls of the Kuala Lumpur hospital while attempting to hold down fleeing nurses and forcing himself on them. Before authorities could arrive, the supernatural entity had already vanished. Additionally, another report of the creature that gained popularity was made back in 2012, where numerous reports poured in from a small village in Gombak, Selangor, that claimed people had seen an Arang Minyak prowling throughout the area. The hantu Penan Ganon. A common staple of urban legends from around the world surrounding that on the creation of demonic entities and ghosts usually center around the act of a person passing away and bridging the gap between our world and the afterlife. Interestingly enough, it appears that in the country of Malaysia, there are legends of a different entity entirely that only makes its appearance known when a person is born, rather than when they die. This supernatural entity is referred to as the hantu Penan Ganon, or the balan-balan to others, and is described as the most popular supernatural entity of Malaysia. According to the legend, centuries ago there had been a midwife of whom made a pact with the devil to gain supernatural powers. The devil had promised to deliver such powers to the midwife as long as the midwife refused to eat meat for at least 40 days. Unfortunately, she had broken this promise when she ate food that had been mixed with small traces of meat, destroying her pact with the devil and cursing her to become a blood-sucking demon that would crave the blood of new mothers. This would lead to the midwife transforming her into the hantu Penan Ganon, a creature that would fly with bat-like wings and reside on the rooftops of homes where a new mother had just given birth to her infant. As the infant would cry, the hantu Penan Ganon can be heard screeching as well, similar to a banshee. Shortly after her screech, the hantu Penan Ganon would then insert a long visible tongue that would snake in through a window and inject itself into the veins of a new mother, feeding off her blood and infecting her with a disease that is fatal and causes the new mothers to die shortly after labor. It is due to this legend that many will hang thorny leaves around windows to prevent the hantu Penan Ganon's tongue from entering, protecting the new mothers from the deadly monster. Janet's ghost. There are many stories surrounding that of Janet's ghost, some that tell of a vengeful spirit, while others claim that the ghost is nothing more than an apparition that does no harm. Regardless of these claims, Janet's ghost has come to be an apparition so feared by people living in the city of Kuching that even mentioning the name of this ghost will lead to the locals quickly walking away and refusing to engage in conversation any further out of fear that saying the ghost's name will cause a haunting. According to rumours circling around the city of Kuching, during the construction of the Satok Bridge, there had been a number of disappearances all throughout the city. The locals claimed that this was due to the construction area having housed spirits that were displeased by the construction efforts and were demanding human sacrifices for as long as their burial grounds were being disturbed. Interestingly enough, this theory would prove to be at the forefront of suspicions after the body of a young Chinese nurse that had worked at Kuching's public hospital had been discovered without a head, a traditional technique used for sacrifices in which only the head of the victim was offered. The parents, distraught and angered by the obvious murder of their daughter that was not investigated, had Janet buried in a red dress. According to Chinese superstition, those that are buried with red will return to the land of the living as a vengeful spirit aimed at their attacker. Very soon after her burial, those living within the city of Kuching began to report seeing a woman in a red dress that would display strange and almost supernatural abilities. Witness reports detailed that the spirit would manifest into a beautiful woman and trick strangers into giving her a ride in their vehicles before she would disappear and leave behind a bloodstain and the smell of rotting flesh. Ferry operators would also claim to have been paid a trip by a woman in a red dress, only for her to disappear halfway through the trip and all of her money to turn into weird pieces of paper that showed images of hellish torture or manifested into hell notes, pieces of currency burned as offerings for the deceased. Despite these strange reports, there has yet to be anyone to claim that they had been attacked by the ghost, but this doesn't stop those witnessing the supernatural entity from running in sheer terror. Bodies in hotel beds. Though no evidence can be gathered surrounding this urban legend that many locals within the country of Malaysia tell to tourists, that doesn't prevent it from being one of the most popular stories told to tourists staying at hotels at popular cities across the country. Referred to as bodies in hotel beds, a group of college students took a trip to Malaysia shortly after their exams and had wanted to unwind with a comfortable, relaxing holiday. Because they were college students, however, they didn't have enough money to pay for the hotel rooms for all of their friends, so they planned on paying for only one room and sneaking everyone else in to share a single room. It turned out that the plan worked out well and the group crammed more than 6 people into a single hotel room with only a single bed. When it was time for everyone to sleep, they took the mattresses off of the bed and laid them on the ground so that everyone could have a place to sleep, only to discover a strange lump in the bottommost mattress that didn't seem to make any sense. Curious as to what was being hidden inside the mattress, the students cut open the bed and found the body of a woman that had been stuffed in only recently. Terrified as to what they found, they immediately went to the hotel management, of whom quickly paid the students a large sum of money to remain quiet on the matter and covered up the entire incident. Today, the story is told to tourists visiting the region as a warning for them to check their mattresses before they end up sleeping on the stuffed body of an unknown victim. Ghost taxi rides. One of the strangest urban legends that comes from the country of Malaysia is that of the stories told by taxi drivers while making their rounds through a number of popular cities in the country during the times of 11 o'clock PM and 12 o'clock AM. According to witness accounts, a number of taxi drivers have claimed that they will no longer run taxis after 11:30 PM due to supernatural encounters. At roughly 12 AM, taxi drivers have begun to see a strange manifestation of a woman at the side of the road with long black hair and white clothes. If they pull over to pick up the woman, she will point them down a series of streets and roads until they arrive at a cemetery and will pay the driver with hell notes, Chinese currency used as offerings for the deceased. If a taxi driver refuses to pick up the woman, however, she will continue to manifest at the side of roads regardless of how far or how fast the drivers will drive. If they continue to ignore her presence, it is told that a dangerous accident will befall the driver and lead to their untimely demise. But what do you all think of these strange and unexplainable urban legends found all across the country of Malaysia? Be sure to let us know in the comments down below, and be sure to share your answers and questions about the video to help grow our community and share insightful comments about the nature of these topics. Hopefully, as we continue to grow our community, we will one day be able to solve these unexplainable mysteries. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos.